So welcome to Peaceful Streaming after a long time away. Um, I'm continuing on with the Lara Croft um, package of PowerWash Simulator. There are a lot of new ones, so I really wanted to catch up. And the other thing is, just FYI, the reason I'm playing PowerWash Simulator, and honestly, I'm not sure when I'm going to be playing anything else, my eyes are really bad. I have this macular edema, and unfortunately, it hasn't cleared up, and it's just, there's really nothing I can do. So things like this I can play, but I like looking at house flipper catalog items and stuff. I how bad my eyes are. Not fun. I've been sick too the last month, but that's generally not really bad. So I literally sometimes have to my face worried up to even see something for work, especially. So anyway, that is true. So apparently they even came out with a SpongeBob. They came out with a Final Fantasy like package or add-on, whatever DLC you want to call it, for the game, and they also came out with a SpongeBob one, which if you think about washing something underwater, it's kind of funny, but I guess we'll see. So let's see. What is... So the other thing is, like, especially chat also is going to be really hard for me to read. To anyone who I don't know this, but yeah, my son was streaming today. Well, simulator, and he and I are probably gonna together. I guess the question will be on whose channel. There was some dirt. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hey Barry, how are you doing? Thank you. Well, I was inspired. I thought I was inspired by Lauren streaming and you hanging out, and I thought I'm pretty sure I can at least do PowerWash Simulator. So, it is doable. So, I saw on one of Lauren's streams in the chat, you got a new therapist, which sounds good. A good therapist makes all the difference. Good therapist and a good doctor can make a huge difference. I'm thinking I should go, even at my, not a lot of stuff, but there's some important stuff that I still have to work out. Oh, and are you still at camp? I actually finish this? I finished this. Okay. I didn't realize that ding was the last part. No, is this? This is not dirty. Okay, so I did that. Excuse me. Sorry, I've had this cough for like a month. Getting better, but it's just... I can't even really do that. The Disney game. It's the same thing. I can't see when I open the catalog. I'm just like, I can't see the items. Now, did that finish? Okay, so that finished. No, it looks like it was still dirty. Okay. Oh, wow, that's fantastic. Oh, wow, that's great. That's so exciting. Oh my God, that's also exciting. That's fantastic. Oh my God, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. Wow. That is, what a huge, huge leap forward. That is so awesome. I am so happy for you. I used to have to play the cello. My mom like pushed me into it. And I remember recitals. I wasn't very good, but also I just panicked so much. Like, to this day, I still don't know if I actually like played anything that, like, anything close to the piece I was supposed to be playing. I panicked so much that it was like a complete and utter blur. They didn't supply bottled water, so you did. Whoa. Oh, yikes. That's so great. I'm so happy for you. That's so wonderful. That's great. That's so wonderful to hear that it brought you back. Wow, that's wonderful. We actually live, oh gosh, down the street from Lawrence. Used to be in Crew, with, you know, rowing, and the couple. But anyway, they lived down the street, and the woman is a violin for the San Francisco Orchestra. So pretty cool. I'm so sorry about the coughing. I guess it's talking, does it? Because I haven't been doing it much today. Anyway, but it's worth it. I think I'm gonna have to. So I did that vase and this. Any down here? Oh, God. Okay, where are you? Oh, there we are. I guess I'm gonna have to go get the ladder. It's not like in House Flipper where you can just buy one. Where's my stuff? Oh, wait a minute. Do I remember that there wasn't a ladder? No, that's gotta be wrong. Right? That has to be wrong. Oh, that's great. Oh, it is? Okay, hang on. So you're saying that the desktop sound is, hang on. It's weird. There's something really odd about the desktop sound. Oh, wow. The master volume's all the way up. How'd that happen? Okay. So let me know if that's better. That's weird. It must have just reset itself or something. Okay, so I was right that there's no ladder. So maybe it's in the maze. Maybe they didn't expect you to go all the way out here to get it. I tried like recording to test it out beforehand, and it didn't turn it up that there was a problem. Oh my god, where is my ladder? You're not telling me there's no ladder, are you? There's no ladder. Wow, okay. How am I supposed to do those pillars? I guess I'm just supposed to be creative. So presumably, if I just use the extenders, I should be able to do it, I think. Let's start with long extension. Actually, I do remember with this one that they do not seem to put dirt on top of these things. Like I remember with a pergola, there didn't seem to be any dirt on top of it, so. Yeah, because look, we're already like more than 50% done. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Maybe if I stand on this too. Oh, there we go. There's some more. Maybe I'm supposed to jump on top of this. Oh, what do you know? Yes, I guess we got a delivery. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. I was going to be a librarian, believe it or not. That's actually what I chose my school for. By the way, just apropos of to some extent of what you were talking about. I was just thinking librarians are cool and that's why those were there. But anyway, so yeah, I was going to be a librarian. And then I took a Shakespeare course, a course on Shakespeare from the literature department, and the teacher was somewhat charismatic and convinced me to major in English literature instead, and that was definitely not the way to go. How am I supposed to get that? Like, I don't seem to be. Let's switch to this and my mental health has been decent. It's actually been pretty good. And the way I can usually tell is by how much stuff I'm getting done. And so I had a 2-week vacation. I took 2 weeks off. Is that actually gone? Oh my God, it's still dirty. How am I supposed to get that dirt? Am I like being dense and missing the ladder somewhere? I don't think I am. I think I remember looking for this before. And I got a lot of stuff done. I was sick for a week and I still got a lot of stuff done. So, I got a lot of things done that I've been like meaning to do, and I've made some progress with learning Mandarin. So, I guess I got the whole thing done. So, so that's like one way that I can tell how my mental health is. So, so it's been pretty decent. I mean, I still have a ways to go, but I've also been walking every I've been walking every day on the treadmill, and I'm up to, depending how tired I am or whether I'm sick, 4 or 5 miles a day. So I've okay, I know that the thing to get into that garden is somewhere around here. I don't think I should backtrack that much. So, and I also got a pull-up bar and put it in the doorway, and I've been making some progress with that. So I'm really interested in just getting in shape and getting my muscles to be a lot stronger. And where is this thing? So so yeah, I'm making progress and I feel really good about that. So I'm getting I'm making physical and mental progress. So so like I said, yeah, if I'm not doing well, then that doesn't tend to happen. I think I needed to get out of those crappy jobs, the last 2 jobs I was in before this one, and also get into the office once in a while, because COVID was really hard for me because I'm an introvert, but I need I need to get out of the house, and I need to have some to like hang out with people at work and not talk a whole lot because we don't really have the time. But I don't know, just something about being around people and, who are not just my son and my husband, being around them, and I don't know, it's good for my mental health. So yeah, things are coming together, and um, I think at this point, how much I'm accomplishing is really only limited by my physical health. So that's generally a good sign. Plus, I'm listening to music a lot, which anyone who has depression, like, a lot of experience with it, knows what their signs are when they're coming out of depression. By the way, can you hear my voice better? I know, I don't know either. I have to keep. I think I have to ask whether I've been saying child more instead of son. I I believe at this point we've been, we have asked, but I believe at this point, um, I think in the at this stage we're still using the male pronoun, but I think it's something. On the other hand, in this journey, there, um, um, uh, I'm just going to use he for now, but he's been pretty good about telling us, like, this is what I want. So, so I've been listening to, I watch a lot of dramas, Asian dramas. So Lara Croft, many ancient labyrinths and myths were devised by priests and mystics. Um, so that's the music I'm listening to almost exclusively, is to a great extent soundtracks from the dramas, but also, like, once in a while I'll stumble across a singer I really like. So for instance, there's this one singer who used to be part of a group called Stray Kids, I think. Kim Woo-jina. I still can't pronounce this terribly well. Like, the N with Korean names, a lot of times you put, like, kind of an A sound. Okay, great. Thanks, Barry. You put in, like, kind of an ah sound at the end, so I may be putting it there where it actually doesn't belong. So I'm embarrassed if that's the case, but I'm trying. But yeah, his voice is just unbelievable. So I first listened to the song from the soundtrack of a Korean drama that I actually didn't watch called Reborn Rich. And I was like, wow, this guy's voice is just unbelievable. It's just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just this incredibly pure sound. So I think he, has this really beautiful singing voice naturally, but apparently has done a lot of voice training, and it's just amazing. So anyway, I just would recommend. He has a YouTube channel, and I think partly because during COVID, like, a lot of people couldn't really do anything. But he's done covers of a lot of songs on his channel, and so I just, like, made a playlist the last couple weeks. I mean, that's what I've been listening to a great extent. But his voice is just incredible. So, but also, Chang Sub, I'm gonna embarrass myself again, but from the group BTOB, has an amazing voice. Like most of the singers from that group, um, the 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 two lead vocalists and the then the main rapper have just incredible voices and have done a lot of uh, they have a pretty big discog oh, I'm not gonna say it right. They have a really good portfolio of music to listen to. So I listen on Spotify. So but yeah, like, pretty much all the music I listen to, like, 80% um is Asian drama soundtracks. But I have like 12 I have a playlist of like 12 hours just for that. So I know it is confusing and with the pronoun, and I have to ask Lawrence. I have to ask my child. At work, I've started using my child. Like when I'm talking, I'm referring to my child, and I use they them. But um, yeah. So we're getting there. We are getting there gradually. But yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, because at work or when I'm working, I really I need I need to do something besides working. I can't just work. So I have to listen to music, or if it's something particularly like mind numbing that I'm working on, then I may have a drama going or something. Usually when I've already watched um, in the background. Here we go. Yeah, I would think. I mean, if if I was a musician, I probably wouldn't listen to music a lot. But sometimes it's background. Like if I'm really concentrating on work, it's definitely just background, and I don't really hear it. But sometimes, like when I walk, I obviously, as you can imagine, listen to music, and I like made a playlist just for that. So it's it's indispensable. Like I mean, I could listen to an audiobook or something, but I really need the music to just kind of push me forward, you know. So when I'm at work and I just walk, I can listen to an audiobook, but that at lunchtime I'm just walking from point A to point B. I'm not really trying to necessarily get any extra. I mean, I'm getting exercise, but it's not like the focus of what I'm doing. So I just can't see myself doing 5 miles listening to an audiobook. So oh, excuse me. My husband is out getting, among other things, this another course of antibiotics because I keep getting like sinus slash throat infections from, I don't know why. One reason exercise was to like improve my immune system, and I'm wondering if it hasn't been working because I keep getting dehydrated because I'm walking so long that I sweat. Um, I'm normally not someone who sweats a lot, but walking 5 miles within, I do it in an hour, like hour and 10 minutes, something like that. So yeah, so I'm getting dehydrated and I keep forgetting to replenish it, and that might be why I'm still getting sick. Dehydration bad. Yeah, well, I mean that makes sense. I mean, it's just is it depends what you're doing. Like like I said, if there's work, there's if I'm doing work that I really am focusing on, then I'm not even really hearing the music. Um and it's definitely like background noise, but actually it's been a long time since I had the kind of work that was like just so basic, or I'd done so many times that I could have anything else going on. What I do now is, because of the ADHD, is I have this thing I use, Pomodoro. Um, that's it's there's a browser add-on where I work for 25 minutes, then I take like a 5 minute break, and you do this and you get longer and longer breaks. Or wait a minute, you do, I guess, 4 Pomodoros. It varies. You can actually change if you want, but and then you get a long break, which I don't even remember how long it is. Probably 15 minutes. But it keeps me on track because when I start to get distracted, Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Then I'll tell myself, nope, you can't go look at, see if you remember to order that on Amazon. You can do that at your break. Of course, sometimes, yes, I have forgotten what it was I was going to do by the time the break comes around, but it actually has helped me really um, accomplish a lot at work when I'm working. So it's worth forgetting those things that used to just distract me. Um, so what I do sometimes during the breaks, oh, excuse me, um, is I'll just have a I'll have a drama and I'll pause it when I'm working and then I'll unpause it for like the 5 minute break and watch. But also because of my eyes, my vision, I really have to take those breaks because otherwise after like an hour I can't even really see anymore. So it's the breaks are even more essential than they used to be. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I have no idea why I'm yawning. Not a clue. Is that supposed to be like cat paw prints again? Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry about the yawning. I think it's the sinus infection. I'm just like um I Barry, I don't know what's going on. To be honest, I don't think I have been sleeping. I did have a little trouble getting to sleep last night, but nothing like I wasn't up to like some crazy time. So I think it's this sinus infection that's making me tired. So that's my guess. Because I had enough protein today too. That's the other thing is from the exercising. I'm having trouble getting enough protein. So so I've started like eating a lot of hummus and yogurt and stuff like that. I actually used to exercise a lot. Um, when I had, when I was diagnosed with MS, when I had my first MS attack, I actually was doing 45 minutes a day of aerobics and strength training, like 5 to 6 days a week. And I couldn't exercise for a couple years um, after the first MS attack. And by then I had Lawrence, and I didn't really need to exercise because um, I got so much exercise just keeping up with him. And I didn't have time to eat. So I was like really thin and kind of decent muscle tone. But then after he went to nursery school, um, then I started exercising again. But I think this is my peak. I mean, I think this is literally the most exercise. This period in the last month was like the most exercise I've consistently done over this much time. So it's like the last month doing, I started from 1 mile a day. And then I worked up in 2 weeks, I worked up to 4 to 5 miles a day, depending on how I felt. So, and so I'm burning like 500 calories when I do that. Uh, Excuse me, I've started stretching, um, like, really intense stretching, and I'm going to do Pilates at some point and stuff. Lara Croft says, but those ancients wanted to show us that the road was often confusing with dead ends and false turns. What was it, priests and prophets or something? I've lost track now. Oh, that's too bad. Yoga's great. I love yoga. I started doing it when I think right when I got out of college because I had a studio apartment and I didn't have much room. But the problem is I have herniated discs, so I really there are some yoga poses I can do and some I can't. So I need to sit down and find out which ones I can do because I do like yoga. I miss it. But the problem is there are a lot of twists and bends with yoga, and you can't really do that with herniated discs. At least where mine are L5S1 lower back. So yeah, it's too bad. Yoga is great. It really is because you're getting strength and you're stretching. You're maintaining or building your flexibility range, and yeah, it's nice. Oh, excuse me. I am so sorry. Okay, why are you not? Like, where's that last piece of dirt? Ah, that's where it is. Or not. Okay. I'm sorry. How's your mom doing? Guess what? Like, one of my work friends uh, is on a cruise to Alaska, came down with COVID, like, almost immediately, and has been quarantined. Can you imagine, like, you're waiting for this vacation? It's so depressing. I feel so sorry for her. Has she texted me today? Oh, I texted her. Um, I feel so sorry for her. Can you imagine how much that sucks? I mean, if you're going to be sick with COVID, at least the best thing is to be at your own place with all your own stuff instead of stuck in a tiny cruise ship cabin. I mean, it's just when she messaged me and told me, I literally had my head in my hands because I felt so sorry for her. I just could not believe the luck, and she like seriously needed a relaxing vacation and is not getting it. Oh, so sad. I feel so badly for her, but I mean they like couldn't. I was saying, well, when my husband and I went on our cruise, it was like a delayed honeymoon. I was in delayed by a couple years. I was in my first trimester pregnancy with Lawrence, and I had morning sickness, which is not morning for most people. It's just worse in the morning, but it was bad all day. And I was really tired. Like I could fall asleep just standing up. I was so tired. So it kind of sucked, but like nothing like what she's going through. Because you go on a cruise partly for the food, and I just didn't want to eat almost anything. Uh, it sucked. Yeah. And all this stuff I was gonna do, all these shore excursions and activities, they wouldn't let me do them. Ooh, she has heart issues. But she went to work. She probably like had to go to work. I'm so lucky. Like working on campus, they, I still have COVID sick days left, and you can use them uh, for when you get sick from vaccines too, which I have actually used them for. So I feel sorry for people who don't have those kind of benefits. Oh boy. Oh, look, there's a gnome. I could knock him over, I suppose. Wow, well, I hope it doesn't affect her heart. Was that the first time she got it? Probably not. I was gonna say I'm so surprised. When I said to my friend, "Have you had it before?" I can't remember, and she said no, and I was like, "Oh my god, seriously?" Like, my husband hasn't gotten it, which is really surprising because both Lawrence and I had it. So, go figure. But I think like a really high percentage of U.S. adults have gotten it at least once. I know people who have gotten it twice or 3 times. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, I'm glad my friend at least didn't get it until, because she's got a pretty large number of health problems like I do, and I'm glad that she was able to avoid getting it until she's had like the initial vaccine, 2 boosters, and then I think the 2 additional ones last year or something. So I'm glad that I was saying to her, "Wow, I'm so glad we're at the point where it's rarely fatal anymore," because people who have like crappy immune systems and health problems like us just really did not need to be um, getting it at the first. I'm glad we were able to avoid it. And initially, Lawrence was really upset when we told him he couldn't get together with his friends, like when COVID started. And, then we were like, "Hey, you've got elderly parents, and both of us have health problems, so uh, unfortunately, it is what it is." But I mean, this was pre-vaccine. There was just no way. I mean, we couldn't take the risk. Oh, so the developers like to put these gnomes everywhere. It's really weird, but it's a thing. It's one of their things. So one of their things is the gnomes. The other thing is cat paw prints. So it's amusing. And if you knock the gnome down and you come back, if you haven't finished the job and you come back, the gnome, you reload the game. The gnome is standing up again. I knew that this has a little more dirt there, right? Huh, that one's still dirty. Where's it dirty? Oh, there it is. Okay. So is this thing done? Yeah, the plinth. I know. Me too. It's like for introverts, it was like, it's very hard to describe to someone who's not an introvert. It was like this, like, oh, good, it's safe. We can just stay home. No one's pressuring us to go anywhere. It makes you sound like such a loser, but I like that's the way I felt. I was like, I'm safe. No one can pressure me to go anywhere. I know introverts seem so weird to people who are not introverts, but it is what it is, you know? It's just like, sorry, that's the way we are. The only when I was younger, like the only way I could really deal with going out and going to parties was by drinking because it just stressed me out so much to be out with a lot of people, especially people I didn't know. So that was really the main reason I would have anything to drink because I would get so stressed out otherwise. And then apparently I was like a really fun person. But it's like I really needed even just like one drink because I never was a heavy drinker. Just like one drink to just calm the anxiety, and then I was fine. But then one of the problems was my friends who I'd known since grade school that we went to the same we were in the same area for college, at least the first couple of years. Well, actually, we had a fight at the end of the first year, and we didn't hang out after that. But and then when I moved back from Boston to live with my parents in Connecticut because I would like had no money after college, a couple of years after college. Then she and I got a place together. So and then when I separated from my first husband, then she and I started going out to bars and parties again. So the problem was she would just get roaring drunk and I'd have to drive. So as the years went on, she would like start drinking earlier in the night and more heavily. So we'd get to a bar, I'd have a drink at like, when we'd get there, I'd stop drinking at like 11 so that by 2, when the bar closed, I could drive her car, or usually it was her mom's car, and her parents were really well off and had these really expensive cars. and I was completely freaked out, like driving these cars. But um, this was before Uber. We lived in a fairly residential area, and there just weren't taxis. We could have gotten I'm sure we could easily have found some guy who wanted to give us a ride home, but not a good idea. So I always just made sure I was completely sober when it was time to leave. So I started having less fun. Like, I was much less relaxed then. So yeah, that's the way it goes. Besides which, you have to be careful mixing alcohol and antidepressants. They are overwhelming. It's really, even if I don't know. I mean, there are differences. Like if I'm going to a party, it's I mean this doesn't happen in a long time because also I don't know if this is autism. I just find friendships very exhausting to maintain. I feel like a terrible person, but it's just like I can usually maintain one or two friendships, and that's about all I can handle. But but like going to a dinner party at someone's house, a small dinner party or something, that was always manageable. Um, but anything more than that, not so much. I got a Fitbit and I'm like getting notifications from my phone on it. It's I'm still getting used to that. But I also brought my blood pressure down, which is really good. My blood pressure was high and it's down to like high normal. So I just need to keep going and get it down to like low normal. But it's in the healthy range now. So that's good. Because I've tried many blood pressure medications in the past. I've tried four, which I think is a lot, and none of them worked. So, or at least two of them made my depression worse, and the other two, and there might have been an overlap with these side effects, but um, made me crave salt. So like they washed the salt, basically drain the salt, well, wash the salt out of your body. But then the problem was I was craving salt, and I'm not like someone who eats a lot of salt. And I was literally like having teaspoons of soy sauce because by itself, because I was so salt deprived. And my body was like, yeah, no, no, you need salt like right away, and a lot of it. And so it didn't work. So the lowering my blood pressure with exercise was I was so excited. You do. It is a lot of work, right? Yeah, no, luckily my genetic like my biological parents passed on just a complete lack of an addictive personality or chemical makeup or whatever it is. So I honestly, I mean, I smoked for a while, off and on, until I met my husband, and he was like, "Could you stop smoking?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Um, and um, and as I said, I drank socially, um, but like it was really no big deal for me to stop doing any of those things. So the smoking to a great extent was to have something to do with my hands when I was waiting. Um, because of ADHD, it just made it easier. Um, so, I mean, that was just like waiting for the tea, and when I was in Boston, waiting, being in bars or parties or something, it was something to do with my hands, because I don't know. And maybe it wasn't ADHD, maybe it was like social anxiety, but um, it made me feel better if I had something to do with them. Oh, sorry. I don't get lonely, I'll be honest. I really don't. When I got out of college, I lived by myself. I didn't really have friends, and I honestly was. I even went like, I don't know, 6 months or so without even dating. So I had work friends, but I was perfectly happy just like going to my one room studio and doing not a lot of a lot doing not a lot of socializing. I guess those are somewhere else. I've been going okay, so I've been going for a little while. We were doing a worksheet on relationships and listed 11 friends and 3 other relationships in the. Wow. I was so shocked to have that many friends. That's great. Oh my god, that to me that's like so much. That is so exhausting, just the thought of that. Um yeah, it's interesting. I noticed that a few a few years ago, a couple of years ago, I don't know, a few years ago, there was something in the Wall Street Journal about people, like this one channel, I guess the first person who did a channel where on YouTube or stream where they were doing their homework. And all people my age were like, "What?" And I was like, I think cuz I think it's like I think it's loneliness. It's just comforting for people to watch and feel like they're not by themselves. And so yeah, I think that's a your generation thing. Don't ask me why, like, people in my generation. I mean, probably people in my generation would have liked that, but just obviously did not have it available. So, I mean, we didn't have the internet for one thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, you go to the library, and because you had no choice, also, if you wanted reference materials, that's where you had to go. So we were kind of pushed. I think we were pushed more to get out because we just didn't have the same availability with the internet. Um, but yeah. So I think that's it. I think people have gotten more isolated because you can do so much online, but the internet's also solving that problem. So I think I'm gonna stop here because my voice is, like, as you can tell, kind of going downhill. Although thankfully I've stopped coughing. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to do this a few times a week, and hopefully at some point my eyesight will get better. Apparently, my brain theoretically is going to adjust to this macular edema theoretically, and then I hopefully will be able to um, do other games. So I guess we'll see. But Barry, thanks so much for stopping by, and everyone else, I appreciate it a lot. And I'm sorry I've been away for so long, but I just it's been like every day I thought, oh, I can do a stream. Then that was the day my eyes were really bad. So that's the way it goes. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. You're welcome. You too, Barry. Have a good evening. Yeah, thank you so much, and take care, everyone, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.